There are a few key things to remember about Golden Doodle care to ensure we give as much back to our dog as we get from them in terms of sheer entertainment and, of course, love. In today's video, I'll be talking about 7 great habits to have as a Golden Doodle owner. Hi, Joanna here, along with Sleeping Sophie. Welcome to my Golden Doodle Diary, the channel all about Golden Doodles. We'd love for you to subscribe and join our pack. Golden Doodles are fantastic dogs, but they require our time and attention to really thrive. Here are the 7 habits to keep in mind when looking after a Golden Doodle. Golden Doodles are pretty energetic, especially when they're young. Zoomies, lots of doggy play, ball fetching all help release their energy and meet their exercise needs. Now, Golden Doodles are also deep-chested dogs beneath that fluff, meaning their chests extend down to their elbows. And when they have full stomachs during vigorous exercise, that deep-chested body shape means they are especially prone to something called dog bloat or canine bloat, which is a painful and potentially deadly condition. As the dog moves about this way and that, gas in the stomach could build up, effectively swelling and twisting it. Often, emergency surgery is needed to untwist and decompress the stomach. To help lower the risk of your Golden Doodle developing dog bloat, it's best to be in the habit of avoiding strenuous exercise for them an hour prior and 2 hours after a meal. Another way to help prevent dog bloat, especially if the dog is very energetic, is to feed 2 or even 3 smaller meals a day, instead of 1 large daily meal. Here's a fact about many Golden Doodles. They tend to have sensitive stomachs. I learnt about this the hard way. I always ensured Sophie's food was fresh, which was what I was recommended. Then one day I gave her a raw bone. She chewed on it for a bit, then left it. It was a good bone and I thought she could have another turn of it later, so I put it in the fridge. I reasoned to myself that dogs chew bones, they bury them in the dirt, they dig them back up and chew some more without problem. It's what dogs do, right? I figured I would have been too precious discarding the bone too soon, so I gave the same bone to her about 4 more times, refrigerating it after each turn over about a week. Until one day after chewing the bone, which evidently now started to go off, she threw up. Then threw up again about 15 to 20 times that day. She ended up at the vet for an overnight stay, hooked up to a drip because she was so dehydrated from the vomiting. Lesson learnt. And I'm not just referring to bones. So habit number 2, fresh food, fresh meat, always. Now I'll ask you to stick with me for this next one. So following on from food, another important thing to remember is to give fresh water, not just to top up the water that's already in the bowl. That's to ensure there isn't a build-up of bacteria which goes on to form a slimy residue which can really affect a sensitive stomach. There is some debate about what the water bowl should be made of to limit the bacteria. Ceramic, plastic, glass, metal. The truth is any of these water bowls can grow bacteria if not replenished with clean water and at least sometimes get washed in between. The other thing is I have several water bowls both inside and outside so that Sophie always has access to fresh water. If you've ever clipped your Golden Doodle on your own, you know how much work it is and how much skill is involved to make this whole body haircut look good. So let's hear it for all those hard-working groomers out there. I was fortunate enough to find a caring groomer who was also a real dog whisperer early on for Sophie. I liked her, Sophie liked her, and I liked how she clipped Sophie. I kept going to the same grooming salon, requesting the same groomer every time, even if I had to wait an extra week or 2 to get an appointment with her. We developed a great rapport and she was very, very helpful, especially in the puppy days, with giving me tips about maintaining Sophie's coat. I really took on board what she said and she was glad I actually followed her advice. I encouraged her to be frank with me about any blind spots I had in terms of maintaining Sophie's coat and if I can prepare Sophie better for the grooming salon. It really is a wonderful thing when you and your groomer become a tag team for looking after your dog's coat. So habit number 4 is finding and sticking with a great groomer and taking on board their advice. If you're interested to know more about ways I prepare Sophie for the groomer, take a look at the video link right here above. Related to this, another great habit to develop is to embrace all the brushing and combing that's required for Golden Doodle coats. There's a lot of praise about Golden Doodle coats being non-shedding, which they are in many cases, though not all. But the flip side of an ever-growing coat is frequent brushing and combing. It's helpful not to think of it as a chore, but rather part of quiet downtime. I often brush Sophie as I'm relaxing and watching TV or listening to a podcast. Her coat texture is lovely to handle, and it's actually a soothing and bonding activity. If you'd like to see my video about brushing and combing to avoid matting, take a look at the link right here above, and I'll include it at the end of this video too. The problem with having a fun, energetic, clever Golden Doodle is their bodies need plenty of exercise, and so do their minds. They need the opportunity to leave their usual home and backyard environment and go out and play with other dogs, explore new surroundings on their walks, and just get to sniff. This really satisfies their physical needs. And being clever, they need to have their minds engaged as well. They love to learn new things and enjoy training sessions. They also love food puzzles, so I give Sophie her food in a food dispenser toy like a Kong. That clever brain really loves to be used, so habit number 6 is to stay creative about providing different physical and mental activities for your Golden Doodle. There are some generalizations which apply to most Golden Doodles. They love all adults, they love all dogs, they love all kids, they love new adventures. Well, maybe and maybe not. As you bond with your dog and develop trust, you get a real feel for what works for your dog and what doesn't. Some things they naturally take to, and other things, not so much. Just because they're a Golden Doodle doesn't necessarily mean, for instance, that they will love to swim or that they don't need some quiet time for themselves. Some things they grow into or grow out of as they mature. So habit number 7 is to tune in to your specific dog so you'll know what keeps him or her happy. And much of the time, the habit of giving your dog love and attention is the most caring habit of all. So thank you for hanging out with us. If you like this video, do all that stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It makes a big difference for our channel. And I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.